I can barely remember the last time I drove by myself, but that night felt different. The moon was bright, and the road stretched endlessly into the distance. I picked up a hitchhiker on the outskirts of town. She looked ordinary enough, wearing a flannel shirt and denim jeans, her long hair cascading over her shoulders. I nodded, giving her a quick smile. We drove in silence for a while until she asked, "You live around here?" I shrugged. It didn't matter. There was something about her gaze that felt unsettling, but I brushed it off. I laughed awkwardly, dismissing the question. "Why?" I shot back. "You ever seen one? Hitchhiker all the time." The laughter died, replaced by an eerie tension. Something shifted in the air. Just a few miles down the road, I saw headlights approaching, and instinctively, I slowed down. But when I looked over, she was gone. The passenger seat was empty, the door wide open as I pulled over in shock. Panic surged through me. How had I not felt her leave? I jumped out, my heart racing. The road was empty. I didn't see her anywhere. The woods to my left loomed dark and silent. Then my phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. "Thank you for the ride." I never picked someone up again. It was late when I decided to hitchhike back to my small town after my car broke down the last mile. I thought I saw a car down the road, so I stuck out my thumb, hoping for the best. After a few minutes, a rusted pickup truck came crawling by. The driver, a middle-aged man with a beard and sunken eyes, stared at me like I was a lost puppy. To my surprise, he rolled down the window and asked, "Need a ride?" I hesitated but climbed in. There was something unusual about him. He didn't speak as we drove deeper into a winding back road, his eyes fixed intently on the road. "Where are we headed? Don't worry, just a shortcut." The trees on either side loomed larger shadows creeping in with the fading sunlight. I felt my heartbeat quicken when I realized I didn't recognize any of the landmarks. He didn't answer any more of my questions, just gripped the wheel tighter each time. Can you drop me off at the next intersection?" "Oh, we're not gonna turn back." Panic surged through me. I noticed bloodstains on the seats as I reached for the door handle. "Stop the truck! I want out! You're in my territory now!" I flung open the door, and without thinking, I jumped onto the gravel road. I rolled and stumbled into the woods, never looking back until I reached my small town. I made a promise never to hitchhike again. A warning: if you find yourself lost, listen to your instincts. They might just save your life. I was exhausted from my day at work, so I decided to hitchhike home from the bus stop to avoid the long walk. It was dusk, and the chill of the evening made my skin prickle. A sleek black car pulled up, and I could barely see the driver's face behind the tinted windows. "Driver, need a ride?" It was a soft voice, almost enticing. I hesitated for a moment, but then nodded and opened the door. As soon as I sat in the passenger seat, I noticed something off. The air was thick, heavy with an unnatural silence. The driver didn't even look my way, just stared ahead. "Where to?" Just to Elm Street, please." He nodded but didn't respond, driving too smoothly down the poorly lit streets. I felt a creeping discomfort as I glanced at him. The more I stared, the more I realized something was wrong. His skin appeared pale, almost waxy, and his eyes were completely black. "Hey, can you drop me off here?" I pointed to a side street, but he didn't react. "We're almost home," he whispered in a voice that was all too calm. "Stop the car! Let me out!" My voice grew frantic, but he just kept driving. Panic clawed at my throat, and I fumbled with the door handle. he murmured, finally glancing at me with those soulless eyes. Things are different in my world. That's when I realized I wasn't just hitchhiking. I was stuck in the grasp of something beyond this world, a passenger in a journey I didn't want to take. I leaped from the car just as it reached a clearing where the trees swallowed the road. The last thing I saw was him smiling, revealing sharpened teeth before vanishing into the shadows. No one leaves.